We need to be careful about what's used around others. It's for her health. Please don't touch it.
Mommy!
The airplane shuddered as Margaret tore the inhaler from my 4-year-old daughter's trembling hands. "You're poisoning her with drugs," she shrieked, hurling the life-saving device out the window at 30,000 feet. My daughter, Lily, gasped, her face turning pale as she struggled to breathe. Margaret had no idea I was the CEO of the company that controlled every corner of her privileged life. The engines hummed as I settled into my seat on the flight from Seattle to Atlanta, cradling Lily against me. Her small hands clutched her stuffed bunny, her breath shallow and wheezy. "Mommy, it's hard to breathe," she whispered, her blue eyes wide with fear. I reached for her inhaler, the small purple device that kept her severe asthma at bay. For Lily, a simple giggle could spiral into a crisis without it. I helped her position it, murmuring, "Deep breath, sweetie." Across the aisle, a woman in her late 50s, impeccably dressed with a pearl necklace and a smug expression, watched us. Her designer purse rested in her lap, and a badge on her jacket read Stonebridge HOA President. As Lily's breathing eased, I caught the woman's judgmental stare but ignored it. This trip was meant to be a fresh start after my divorce, a chance for Lily to visit her grandparents in Georgia. "Excuse me." The woman's voice sliced through the cabin. Margaret leaned forward, her tone dripping with authority. "Is that child using drugs?" I blinked, stunned. "This is her asthma inhaler. It's prescribed medication." Margaret scoffed. "I don't care what you call it. You're exposing everyone on this plane to chemicals. It's reckless." Lily clung to me, her breathing quickening from the tension. "Ma'am," I said, keeping my voice steady, "this is life-saving medication for my daughter's asthma." Margaret rolled her eyes. "Asthma? Please. Kids these days are coddled with fake conditions. In my day, we didn't need drugs to behave." A flight attendant approached, sensing the escalating conflict. "Is everything okay?" Margaret seized the moment. "This woman is using a drug device on her child. It's a safety hazard. I demand you confiscate it." The attendant, calm but firm, explained, "If it's a prescribed inhaler, it's legal and necessary." Margaret wasn't having it. "How do we know it's prescribed? It could be anything, maybe even one of those vaping things." Lily's whimpers grew desperate as her breathing worsened. I reached for the inhaler, but before I could act, Margaret lunged across the aisle, snatched it from Lily's hands, and shouted, "I won't let you drug this child." In a blur of arrogance, she stormed to a window, forced it open against the attendant's protests, and tossed the inhaler into the void below. The cabin erupted in chaos. Passengers gasped, some pulled out phones to record. Lily's lips began turning blue, her small body shaking as she fought for air. "What have you done?" I screamed, clutching her. "She needs that to live." Margaret crossed her arms, smug. "Maybe now you'll learn to parent instead of drugging her." The flight attendant radioed for emergency medical assistance, and a passenger, a retired nurse, rushed to help. "She needs a hospital now," the nurse said, her voice grave. I shook my head, tears streaming. That was her only inhaler for the flight. The plane diverted to St. Louis for an emergency landing. Paramedics boarded, rushing Lily to a children's hospital. As they carried her away, she whispered, "Mommy, I'm scared," her tiny hand reaching for me. At the hospital, I paced the waiting room, replaying the nightmare. Margaret had been detained at the airport, but that did little to ease the terror of watching Lily fight for breath. A nurse finally approached. "Mrs. Harper, Lily's asking for you." I found her in a hospital bed, an oxygen mask over her face, her eyes tired but bright. "Mommy, the mean lady took my medicine," she mumbled. I stroked her hair, whispering, "She can't hurt you now." The doctor pulled me aside. "Lily's stable, but this was one of the worst asthma attacks I've seen in a child her age." If that flight hadn't landed when it did, he didn't finish, but I understood. 2 days later, Lily was discharged, and we prepared to continue to Atlanta. But I wasn't done with Margaret. I called my assistant, David. "Find out everything about Margaret Ellison, Stonebridge HOA president, on flight 319 from Seattle. I want her address, job, finances, everything." Within hours, I had a dossier. Margaret lived in a $1.2 million home in Stonebridge Heights, a gated community in suburban Seattle. As HOA president for 8 years, she'd filed over 300 complaints against neighbors, everything from unapproved lawn ornaments to excessive porch lights. Her mortgage, insurance, and HOA contract were all tied to Cascade Holdings, my company, which managed 70% of Stonebridge's properties. The irony was delicious. Back in Seattle, I called an emergency board meeting at Cascade's headquarters. This woman threw my daughter's inhaler out of an airplane, I told my executives, my voice trembling with controlled fury. She nearly killed Lily because she thought asthma was fake. The room fell silent. My legal chief, Susan, asked, "What's the plan, Elizabeth?" "Justice," I said. "I want her to feel what it's like when someone with power upends your life." We moved swiftly. Cascade Properties terminated Stonebridge's HOA contract, citing conduct unbecoming of leadership. Margaret called, furious, demanding answers. My assistant stonewalled her. "The decision came from the CEO, ma'am. It's final." Next, Cascade Financial called in her $800,000 mortgage for immediate repayment, citing pending criminal charges. Her insurance was canceled for misrepresentation of character. Her husband, Stephen, called me, confused. "MS. Harper, there's been a mistake with our accounts." I didn't mince words. "Your wife threw my 4-year-old's inhaler out of a plane at 30,000 feet. She could have died." Stephen stammered. "Margaret said it was a misunderstanding about a disruptive passenger. I sent him Lily's hospital records. Read these. Then ask yourself if you can stay with someone who'd do this." That evening, my head of security called. "Margaret's outside, demanding to see you." I let her up, flanked by guards. She stormed into my office, disheveled and furious. "You're ruining my life over nothing," she spat. "Nothing." I stood, my voice rising. "My daughter spent 2 days in ICU because of you. She couldn't breathe because you decided your ignorance trumped her doctor's orders." Margaret doubled down. "I was protecting everyone from your drugs." "Protecting?" I stepped closer. "Do you know what it's like to watch your child turn blue, gasping for air, because someone like you played God?" For the first time, I saw a flicker of doubt in her eyes. "I didn't know," she mumbled. "You didn't care to know?" I snapped. "You assumed and nearly killed her." Over the next month, Margaret's world collapsed. The HOA ousted her after neighbors shared years of her harassment. Stephen filed for divorce, moving out. Her home went into foreclosure. Viral videos of the airplane incident made her a pariah, with millions condemning her actions. She was shunned, her reputation in tatters. Then, a month later, Margaret returned to my office, a shadow of her former self. Her clothes were worn, her face gaunt. "I'm sorry," she whispered, tears streaming. I didn't understand. "My grandson, Ethan, has asthma. I saw him have an attack last week, and I realized what I did to Lily." Her voice broke. "I could have killed her." I studied her, searching for sincerity. "What do you want?" I asked. "Nothing," she said. "I can't undo it, but I need you to know I'm sorry." She paused. "How's Lily?" "She's strong," I said. "She survived you." After she left, I sat in my office, wrestling with anger and something new, pity. Destroying her hadn't healed Lily's trauma or mine. That night, Lily asked about the mean lady. "She didn't know about asthma, Mommy. Can we teach her?" Her words hit me. The next day, I called Margaret. "I'm offering you a job. Entry-level, customer service, minimum wage. You'll help families with medical needs. Take it or leave it." "Why?" she asked, stunned. "Because Lily thinks you can change," I said. "She wants you to help kids like her." Margaret accepted. 6 months later, she was a star employee, specializing in navigating insurance claims for children's medical devices. She volunteered with the Asthma Alliance, sharing her story as a warning against ignorance. A year later, Margaret was promoted to supervisor of our medical advocacy team. She created a training program, Empathy Over Judgment, teaching employees about chronic illnesses and the struggles families face. During sessions, she recounted the airplane incident, her voice breaking as she described Lily's suffering. "Every call is a family fighting for their child," she'd say. "Your job is to help, not judge." Her work transformed lives. One case involved a single father, Michael, whose son, Noah, was denied coverage for his nebulizer. Margaret spent days securing approvals and connected Michael with a support group. "Before Margaret, I thought I'd lose my son," Michael told me. "She gave us hope." 2 years after the incident, Margaret spoke at a national asthma conference. Displaying a photo of Lily playing at a company picnic, inhaler in hand, she said, "This is Lily Harper. I nearly took her life because I thought I knew better. Today, she's thriving because her mother turned my mistake into a mission." The audience gave a standing ovation. Lily, now 6, made a video teaching kids about asthma. "It's okay to need medicine," she said, her voice clear. "Some people don't understand, but we can teach them." The video went viral, inspiring children worldwide to embrace their conditions. Margaret keeps a framed still from it on her desk. Each year, on the anniversary of the flight, Margaret sends Lily a card. "Thank you for teaching me." This year, Lily sent one back, her childish scrawl reading, "Dear Miss Margaret, thank you for helping kids. Love, Lily." Margaret called me, sobbing. "She forgives me," she said. But it's more than forgiveness. It's transformation. Margaret's advocacy has helped over 1,000 families. She's drafted laws protecting kids' rights to medical devices in schools and founded Lily's Fund, a scholarship helping 300 families afford equipment. Lily thrives, her asthma managed, her confidence soaring. That moment on the plane still haunts meth terror of Lily's blue lips, her whispered fear. But from that cruelty came a ripple effect of compassion. Margaret, once a tyrant, is now a champion for the vulnerable. I'll never thank her for what she did, but I'm grateful for what we built from it. What do you think about Margaret's actions and her redemption? Was justice served, or did she deserve more punishment? Share your thoughts on violence, ignorance, and second chances in the comments below. Your perspective matters. Let's discuss how we confront injustice in our lives.